today, we're going to make the step to look at what we call Holon 0. After this program, you will know what that stands for. First of all, I want to do a couple of household things. Should there be an uncontrolled fire, so a fire not based on iron powder that we don't want, we have an emergency exit there, we have an emergency exit in the far end, and you can go back to the door that you came in through. Don't take the door that is also very near, where the people are standing there, going out that way, because you'll be trapped in the gate around our asset outside one of the burners of the ecosystem. So don't take that door. If someone needs to use the lavatories, they are where you came in underneath the stairs. Did I miss anything now? No, I don't think so. Oh yes, we do have a digital audience also. Yep. Michael.
For those online, well, we don't have those house rules. It's part one. If there are any questions, you can put them into the chat, and our colleague will pass them through. So that's it. I think we can kick off.
Any idea how many people we have online? Because I see some 50 plus because we're short of shares.
20 at the moment.
Okay, nice, very nice. So let's quickly start. We said Holon 0, and Holon 0 is going to produce circular, sustainable energy. Super nice, of course, all what we want. And we have, if you remember the Metalot Work number 3 last year, we asked, it's about a year ago, we asked the audience, we have the idea that the next step for us as ecosystem builders is to step up, integrate all the individual component developments, and make it into a total proposition. Yeah? Something where we don't talk about technologies individually anymore, but where we start talking about a system. Yeah? Something that as society we can embrace and say, oh wow, this is a nice system, I like it. Yeah? Well, we don't have to explain anymore, which is for us a lot easier, that why don't you buy our burner? Why don't you embrace our technology? Because people will say, oh, where can I buy the fuel? Yeah, and if we don't have the answer ready, people will be gone. We'll lose them. Yeah? So, good step to make. So, today we're going to speak about people that came back to us and helped us in getting together this whole scenery. And they're all here today, so that's also very nice. If I may have the next slide.
Oh, it's already on.
Yeah. Oh, that was easy. For those who are here first time, is there anyone unfamiliar with metal fuels? Totally new? Good. So we can go very quickly through this slide. The problem we're solving with the metal fuels is that we have this. And this means we know how to store energy, typically produced in the green way, and use it at a time and place where we as society want to, which mimics the behavior we all are addicted to, yeah, that where and when we want, and we don't want to think about it. So, fine. If we have solved the storage problem in a seasonal manner, yes, we have a reduction side, as we call it, throughout the afternoon, and we have a combustion side in the cycle. Why is this circular? Because we use the green produced hydrogen with an electrolyzer to clean our rust. We take the oxide, bind it with the hydrogen, gets us water, makes a circular loop for the electrolyzer, and we have to clean iron fuel again. And this process goes round on the iron side and it goes round on the water side. Quite important, we are not wasting any resources, we are all using them in a circular way. And yes, this is the traditional way of the power station, providing heat or electricity, industrial heat or large-scale electricity. No difference to what is our existing world at this moment. So, any questions? This should be totally simple, I think. Where do we have applications for this technology? The big scale, of course, is if you try to do electrification, the high temperature processes become a problem because you don't easily reach those temperatures. That is why fire or flames are so attractive. So we need a replacement if we want to sustain all the companies and industry in the Netherlands or Europe-wide or worldwide in this energy transition. We need a solution for high temperature. Our metal powers do this. Then, in the Netherlands, we have the typical setting for cluster 6 companies. Anyone knows what cluster 6 is or doesn't know what cluster 6 is? No? Very quick. Netherlands has 5 big industry clusters, starting in the north, Eemshaven, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Terneuzen, and Gemmelot. Yeah? Those will be connected with a hydrogen backbone, so they have access to hydrogen, so they can burn, they have the high temperature. Wow, great. But it also leaves a cluster 6, all those people that have no access to the hydrogen in the future, or the near future, and those also need to go and become more sustainable. So those companies, in popular words, have received a letter from the government saying, you won't be near the hydrogen infrastructure in the future. We do want you to become more sustainable. By the way, you're likely also in an area then that doesn't have any grid strengthening activities going on. Good luck. We'll see you in 20 years if you are still alive. Cluster 6 is that group of companies. And it's a huge part. 30% of our industrial capacity sits in cluster 6. Yeah. So, super important sector, and a sector that is very much looking, I can tell that meanwhile, and I think Iron Plus and Rift will immediately confirm, yes, those companies are really suffering. They're looking for a solution. Yeah. The smallest scale is, of course, where every one of us at home also uses energy. And if you happen to have a new home, it is probably built without a gas connection. So how are you going to heat your home now? Yeah. Electrification, again, is the answer. But if you live in an area with congestion, it's not going to be an easy move. So it explains why built environment is going slow. It explains why companies are unhappy. Everyone is worried about the energy price, and we have no solution. Yeah. So, but today is going to make your day as well, because we have a solution, CO2-free, and today we're also going to take a look at affordability of this. Because in the end, a successful innovation is 25% a good idea, 75% how does the society accept this solution? And one of the big acceptance criteria is, of course, affordability. Isn't it, Michael?
It is.
Yeah. Before we go into that, maybe can you take us where, why are we now at Metalot?
Now, you talked about affordability. We often get the question, what is Metalot's role here? Because we don't develop anything, we don't create anything, we don't assemble anything, we just think along. So where do you position yourself? And over the few years, I think, we become a lot better at that story. Took some time. But Metalot at the base is a foundation created to help support the energy carrier called metals, and to make sure that they are enabled, that they are accepted. We do so on a few topics. Introducing a new energy carrier requires new license and legislation. It needs to become a commodity. We created the technology here in the Netherlands, and that is why we also want to keep it here. So knowledge assurance, but also knowledge sharing across the world, getting people to know the technology. Creating a new energy carrier or a new industry requires a community, an ecosystem. And an ecosystem is not one company. It is more companies who work together, are competitors, and create and can form a market. And projects, to get them from an academic scale, so a very small scale, to pre-commercial scale, where the market can pick them up and they can become commercial, as we call them. At the same time, we have to take into consideration that metals, how great they sound, are not the solution. It is not the solution that will help the entire world. It is a solution that goes into the mix. If we have solar energy, if we have wind energy, and you can use them directly, please do. Adding every step in there will take its efficiency. A little bit of history about us. Metalot is not a new kid on the block. We were founded by one of the founders of the technology 10 years ago to make sure that it goes beyond the university. So to make sure that the projects that are being accomplished on the university get a lifeline outside the university. Building impact and traction for the innovation. We were supported in the early years by our founding fathers, among them the TU, province of North Brabant, municipality of Kranendonk, and Nierstar. Where we focused in the early years on just getting projects to help the academic research continue, we quickly found out that those projects will arise at the university and need to have a new acceptance place. That is when we established this, where we're at today, the Future Energy Lab. The Future Energy Lab houses all kinds of experiments, all pre-commercial scale, all academic scale, but that became too big for the academic. And we can help them and get them in here, create projects around them to help them scale up, and also showcase the world. That resulted in 2020 at, I think, a world-known story, the first beer being brewed on iron powder. That was actually from a project that we helped initiate. That also triggered the first two world startups, Rift and Iron Plus. Both are here in the audience today. So you could say, okay, we're done. No, we are not. Because we still need to get all those steps of acceptance. We still need to scale up the technology to new levels. And that is why today we're also presenting the first iron power complete chain to help the entire ecosystem gain momentum. What started in 2015 as one academic program at the University of Eindhoven is now a well-spread research and innovation hub around the world. A lot of universities around the world are now conducting research on all types of metals, not only iron, also aluminum, also zinc, also magnesium, you call them. In the past few years, we've also seen startups arise around the world, where the first two are based in the Netherlands. So you can say, hey, the market is getting ready for acceptance. They are still in the innovation space and still looking for the best business cases and preparing the market for them. And we are there to help on both academic scale, on the startup scale, and informing the market with the right message, to bring them all together and to create the entire ecosystem and market. So you could say we help to go from a small scale flame to a big scale, from research and innovation to worldwide application. We like to position ourselves directly into the middle. We don't have any shares or any interest in creating stuff, building stuff, or being the best business case. We are here to help thrive impact. That is why we love to be connected to all of them, and through the years, orchestrating the strength and growth of the entire ecosystem has become our prior objective. In the past 10 years, we've grown rapidly, and to make sure that the technology is being accepted into the world requires a few very important steps. So talking technology is nice, making sure that everything works is good, but we also need to talk the language of the problem owners on governmental scale, on business scale. That is why we also focus on a European lobby, more of that later in this presentation, together with a national body on a metal power platform, together with the Dutch government. We make sure that the knowledge is being kept in the Netherlands, that if we don't do anything, it will move away abroad. We built the community, so we make sure that there arise more companies and on both the, how do you say, the reduction scale, transport scale, burner scale, application scale, so that there becomes market working. We do that via projects and forms of exploitation. Going to exploitation, I would like to give the word to Raoul.
Oh, Thank you, Michael. Yes, where do we stand now? If we say we have this community, we have projects, what are those projects then? And it would be fantastic, of course, if I could say, oh, look, here's our new Armor Centrale. Done. Look, here's our cluster 6, they're all happy. Look, here's our built environment, no gas anymore, no grid congestion anymore. Unfortunately, it is all a little bit further away. And now I start in the different direction, because we all like to look when we have something new at the biggest scale applications. There's a lot in the middle, but I'm going to start on this side, because this is where, as we are sitting here, you're all sitting next to what used to be the installation that was at Swinkels as well. Meanwhile, has reached the 0.5 megawatt to a megawatt scale of heat production. But it's very, very clear that this is existing equipment. So if you think back in Apple terms, they didn't wait until iPhone 17 to go to market. They came to market with an iPhone 1 that could do something very simple, produce heat and electricity. If you then look at the small scale, the 1 megawatt scale is already available. So why not capitalize on it? The analysis has been done, we think in a couple of years, let's say 2 years, we could have new neighborhoods, small industry terrains like this one, running on this kind of energy carrier. A couple of more years away, you have probably all seen the LinkedIn post of Rift, where they say, hey, we have a cluster 6 example that has committed, yes, I'm going to do energy transition now, I'm going to do this, and in a couple of years, I say, check, I did my mission, CO2-free, circular, boom, don't call me anymore, I'm finished, I did it. But it's a couple of more years away. The big scale, you can imagine, the gigawatt, it only takes already 10 years to plan for a new power plant, so it's no surprise that that is further away. So this is where we stand now. We're actually touching the first real things that can go into society. No dream anymore, reality. We could take this one or the one in Helmond and say, hey, let's put it somewhere and put it to work. Now, this is a nice schematic of how we connect all this. The green inputs, the reduction part, our magic in the middle, which is very simple. We manage the stock of fuel and the stock of rust, let's say. And if we both maintain them positive, we can continuously operate a burner where and when we want to do this. No difficult, I think. Difficulty is now, let's turn this picture, if we can, Michael, into reality.
Maybe you should grab back to the Metalot Work last year, where we said, hey, we can talk technology, but it's better to understand on the energy side that we have a surplus, and on the application side we have a need. And we reached out to the public and said, hey, who in the public dares to challenge us to create a feasible study? It's already there.
While we're talking, what happened? People stood up, indeed. You obviously saw that we practiced this, of course.
Next time will be better.
No. But yes, someone walked up to us and said, hey guys, this right side of the picture, I think I fit in. I want to transition, I don't know how, I have all these problems that you mentioned, and I have a train. The gentleman is here, if I'm not mistaken. John, are you of it? Would you mind coming here? And maybe in a couple of words, John, addressed to the public. When you were here the first time, you saw this. What triggered you to say, hey, Metalot, wait a minute. I have all these things. I want to be a forerunner. What?
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
Yes. I was interested in the technology of iron power because our companies, we have a lot of companies sited on the industrial site at the Meemortel, and we are already in the energy transition. You can see all the solar panels on our roofs, but we are taking it a bit further because we also have the problem of taking off our companies from gas problems. So when I got in contact with Metalot, I saw a new revelation where our company, but the entire, and not only our company, but also the entire industrial site at the Meemortel can get a profit of. And I'm one of the initiators of the part management of the Meemortel. And from that voice off, I have collected some other ondernemers, stakeholders at our site, the Meemortel, to get
Enthusiasm?
Because we can provide a playground for Metalot to show the world how this energy transition of iron power can be made, because on our industrial site there are some things that some
advantages or conditions?
Conditions that can make a real difference in the transition. And because we are located in the middle of the industrial area. It's also a good location, and I'm proud Kranendonker. So I want to show this technology on our industrial site and not somewhere else in the Netherlands. It's born here, so I think we have to show the world what's born here, that it also can
flourish here.
Yeah.
I think one of the charming things in this story is that John came up to us and said, hey, you look for a place where we can create energy and transform my company or a company to get them off the gas, to help them to make more sustainable. In the same sentence you mentioned, but I don't want to be the only user of it. You said, I was maybe one of the first entrepreneurs here in Budel, and Budel was literally built around me. And if we don't do anything, it's going to push against me, and I have to move. I hear you said to us, I hear you talk about building an ecosystem, working together. How great would it be if I can initiate more entrepreneurs and chess them, so we can share our energy? So maybe I don't require the biggest burner here, but if we work together, there are more energy consumers on this field, and we can transport the energy. And I hear you talking about built environment, houses. Hey, knowing you have a contracting company with a concrete facility as well, I also build houses. So it's all beneficial for me to be part of this transition. So that was charming.
I admire your modesty, really. But yes, you meanwhile heard John has a construction company, so is a builder, so understands that, yes, one of the blocks we saw on this site, the built environment, is at a low now. We built too few homes. Yeah? We don't know how to gear up again because we have no energy, we have too many emissions and whatever, and it looks like we have a solution. And I think part of your thinking was that, hey, wait a minute, looking at this, if I could be one of the forerunners in this, I'm willing to not only put, let's say, my network and the site at your disposal, Metalot, to do something good and demonstrate something good, but I'm also willing to invest. I understand innovation also takes money. So thanks a lot, John, for standing up, but not only standing up and saying, I'm willing to help, but also really help. So thanks a lot for that. I think you deserve an applause for that. If we go to the other side, then, no, before we step there, maybe, Step, you heard people say, hey, there are many more users here. The first product we could do is heat, but heat goes through the whole terrain, and the terrain also has a public part to that. So also the municipality here came to the table and said, hey, wait a minute, we understand this will never happen if we can't play together as public and private sector. So we have one of the aldermen of Noordwijk, what am I going to say? I looked at Step from Noordwijk, but no. Karel, welcome here as well. And could you tell from your perspective as an alderman of Kranendonk to say, hey, how did we look at this? How do we see our role in this?
Thank you. First of all, we were one of the founding fathers that came along. Long time ago, we saw the chances in this project. So with some other, the province, and we shared some money in the project. That's the first thing we did. You are here in Kranendonk, and Kranendonk is part of Brainport, and that is an ecosystem where initiatives like this should flourish, and we like to help them. Here you see one example, Meemortel. We are very proud. It takes this initiative, it takes this step. On the other hand, you saw the housing possibility. We have plans in Kranendonk to build about 3,000 or 4,000 houses the next couple of years. That's a huge project for us. And energy is always the problem, and we see good chances for Metalot to help us to literally heat all those new houses. So that's a point where we come in. Metalot has bought a lot, or plot, or how do you say it, part of a new space. Want they will leave at this place, they will go to another place, and also in that direction we have helped each other. So a new plant is arising, and also at that plant there is a cooperation between more companies. So that are all things we see. We want to see flourish in our community. Kranendonk is from off the beginning, but still one of the supporters of this project, and we wish you lots of success, of course. And we are thinking about our role as a municipality in the next period of Metalot. And well, we're thinking of a public-private partnership, but that is all to be discussed in the next few months. So it's good to be here, and lots of success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karel. Also for you. You said, no, I have a little bit disappointing message, because you say that Metalot can deliver all this. But if you listen to Michael already said you can't buy stuff here. The only thing we have is our word and our belief. Yeah? But it's the companies in the end that have to do this. Yeah? So let's look at another company. We looked at John's company. Let's look at what is called Nearstar here. We also have a representative of Nearstar here in the room. Ellen, if you want to come forward. And I realize now I made a big mistake, of course. I'm good at that. Usually women go first. But for good reasons, we started on this side, want to go this side. But you were already mentioned as one of the founding fathers of Metalot, which is of course fantastic. But we're coming to the stage, things are becoming real. Can you tell us a little bit on what you will facilitate in this part of the process? Because that's also why you are last. It's essential, yeah, so we kept the best for last. Because this is the magic, yeah? The burning stuff we all know, yeah? But mind you, there's no CO2 going away now. No, this fuel goes around. The fuel stays ours. We bought the iron and it is ours. Yeah, it's not going away, there's no emissions. We're going to do some magic to it. Ellen is going to help us with that.
Yeah, so I guess true. Hey, we've been involved as Nearstar from the beginning. So I guess we kind of naturally went in along with this thought process. And we have agreed that we'll accommodate the reduction step of this pilot as a first off. Now, and why would you think, why would Nearstar do this? Well, first of all, I guess the 1 megawatt is not a big deal for us. It's relatively small since we use about 150 megawatts an hour, so that's okay. We have an industrial site. We have some space, as you can see here. We have electricity. Sorry for those that don't have. We do have some electricity spare. We have solar fields. And thus there is an interest for us to participate in this, obviously also because it's part of Kranendonk and the whole municipality. We'd like to help. And on top of that, there is also a benefit for us. First of all, it's the iron. Now, we do have iron in our process too. That's not a product that we normally use, but we would be quite interested to see what our iron would do in this reduction process. So that will also give us some opportunities to investigate. And then obviously the last piece is we'd like to see this symbol iron be replaced by zinc. So that is obviously also, because that would be perfect for us, right? We make the pure zinc on site. If we could help that and we could burn it and we could just bring it back, that would be a benefit for us. So there is some additional benefits for us too, and plus it's just very interesting and exciting to be involved in this project.
Thank you very much, Ellen. Also for you, big hand. And funny that you say, hey, I want to see zinc in the picture there. That means new research. But we can't always be on the inventor side. Somewhere we have to make the step, Michael, isn't it? That research also has to result in our case, we're after impact. You're probably not after the most perfect business case, but yes, we have to be able to also show things as a result of what we do. But okay, thanks for the bridge to research again.
That is why I silently got our next speaker on stage already.
Exactly. So why don't you introduce him?
Yeah. Well, we're going from research to impact, as we already mentioned. So getting back to our lovely scheme. We have some nice focus area here. We're busy on this side, together with all startups. But getting from there to there, from A to B, from small flame to big flame, doesn't always go as planned. So research is required, but also preparing the market to adapt the research. That is why we invited Fons, business developer at TU Eindhoven, the GATE, to talk you through on what their steps are, making sure that, hey, innovation gets from university to market. So, floor is yours.
All right. So the cradle of this technology was the university, and we did a lot of research on. But now we are stepping up with to bring this technology to the world, and for that we would like to share our knowledge where we are at the moment, so that companies and municipalities and other stakeholders that can benefit from our research to solve the societal issues we have. It's not only energy. If you look at the news today, there are a lot of issues, and well, maybe you can come up with a narrative that they are maybe connected, and maybe energy is the solution for many other issues if that cascades down. So to spread the word, we are working on a Metal Power Technology Academy, and that's designed for those who could be future challenge owners, like Mr. Vlasak and maybe the municipality as well, because they have some objectives to meet with the transition, how to make it work for them, but also for societal reasons. So we have at the university developed a carbon-free and even a scalable solution for today's challenges. And the TUE is the cradle of what we see, and we would like to invite the world here to come to the Brainport area with Metalot, to UE, and maybe others who would like to start up their venture here in the region and to learn and innovate with us. So the goal of this educational program is to educate companies and governmental organizations, and along the way we are building a global ecosystem, because we don't want to keep it in, within the region. We could be proud of that, but we would like to think a little bit bigger, because the challenge is not only within the Netherlands, it's global. And but if we have a lot of knowledge, if we have startups and we have companies who would like to step up and be part of this ecosystem, we have to create some kind of market pool, because those companies who are on the developer side, they cannot, well, it's a tough job. It goes a lot of money into to educate the world. And I think that's the job for us as a university, together with Metalot, because they developed a vision how to be, let's say, a partner in bringing this to market. So therefore we started a program for this. At the TUE we believe we have the knowledge on all levels. First, Philip is an expert on the particle side. We have Julia here. She is also looking into the characterization of particles, but also on the application side and system design. And of course, we look into process optimization. So how could we improve the efficiency and the burn rate, or that everything is within limits? That this is also a safe fuel when it's combusted. So we train while we're building an ecosystem. So we would like to invite industry and governmental leaders to come to a seminar for starters, just to get them aware, create some kind of awareness that, hey, this could be a solution for the challenges we have. And then invite those project managers and process engineers who got the assignment of leadership. Hey, maybe we should involve in this kind of technology, and please get some training how to do that. What are the instruments we need and the knowledge we need to have a proper conversation with those who are the experts in the field. And lastly, the developers, suppliers and service providers, we also are looking into a program for them, so that the whole ecosystem is complemented by those who add value to the ecosystem. And then you can see there is, from decision, execution, we go to in operations. So how we envision that, how we can scale up, is that the university is focusing on the research and the training. So we educate the world about this technology in its essence. And Metalot is providing educational and pre-commercial projects. So to bring our TRL levels, if that is a familiar term, at least on our side, the technology readiness level from ID to an application in the field. And then we need, of course, the industry, the municipalities, the ministries, everything, every organization who has a challenge. And then we can scale up this whole technology. And well, we are proudly to say, and already showcased in the previous talk, that our technology has gained traction globally. So if you look, our academic network is expanding, and it goes all over the world because people are getting enthusiastic about the promise of this technology. And we also see that startups and industries are getting traction. And it's not only in the Brainport region, but we see initiatives in Canada, we see initiatives in Australia, in France, in Germany, and in Switzerland. And that's just perfect. And now we see that we have to step up and claim our position in the world. And therefore we are now inviting those who have those challenges to come to our seminar and learn how this technology could work for them. So if you're inspired by this technology, please grab your phone and sign up. It's a free seminar which will be held on the 30th of October for governments and on the 6th of November for industries and companies. And what we're gonna address are topics like, okay, what have we achieved, how metal power could work for you. We have lab visits, and we dive into some business cases as well to see, hey, is this a viable case? And also do an exercise in different scenarios. And afterwards, we would like, of course, do a call to action. Would this be an interesting track to follow up on project leaders and process engineers? Is this something you would like to follow up with a one-on-one conversation with research or even a workshop? So this is what I would like to share with you, and hopefully we meet again on the 30th of October or on the 6th of November. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Fons. Well done. You took us to the academic side again. So we have a good idea. We talked about how the whole chain could work. We know now how to get people on board, train them, educate them, and man all the positions, or womanize all the positions that we need. One element is still missing. We haven't spoken about the magic word on the beginning, on the first slide, affordability. So the money talk is always the most difficult one, you know. So we call Mo Izadi to the stage. He volunteered today, or he had the shortest straw, we could say. You have to do the money talk, Mo, and take us through the business case and explain us why this is also, on the business side, something that everyone should want to do. Mo?
Yes.
Stage is yours.
The voice is okay? Good. So, my name is Mo. Actually, I'm a director of Armon Tech. I think today, theme of the event is about a small chain. And I have many, many years of experience at a company, also not too far, ASML. And I'm still there until at least the coming 2 months before I fully step out. And we used to say one thing, we change the world 1 nanometer at a time. And I think here we want to change the world 1 megawatt at a time. So I want to go a bit, one step to the risk management, and also especially in the energy sector. We are talking about fossil fuels, gas, which have quite a lot of risk, mostly on geopolitical and also on the climate. 2021, I think everyone can remember what happened on the energy prices, a geopolitical issue where it put a threat in our energy supply. So basically we lost, at least especially in Western Europe, our energy security. And that was price shock as a consequence, of course. And of course, we have also climate risks, right? On all of those, which is also coming in some level again to the price. With higher carbon, basically, cost, and also coming to basically failing the sustainability goals, another risk on the commercial side of it. So the question is, if we want to go and change towards a sustainability, is it the right way to look at the price of, for example, gas? Any long investor in the audience has a portfolio in the stock market? Do you ever buy a stock that you are sure that company goes down in 10 years and doesn't exist anymore? I barely believe any long-term investor going to invest in a company that is sure in 10 years doesn't exist. Doesn't matter what is the price of that stock. Is it today cheap or high? It's such risky, they never step into it. So they never even look at the price of those stock of those companies. It's same for the gas, for example, which has both risks. And we are all sure in the coming decades, there is no fossil as energy source. So comparing and benchmarking energy price based on gas, fossil, gasoline, I believe is not the right way to do it because it doesn't matter. That's not existing even. But talking about the price, this is the price of electricity in the last 8 years for the households in the Netherlands, so it's including the taxes. So about 200 euro per megawatt hour in 2017, going up and slightly down again, which is equivalent to 100 euro per megawatt hour to 20 cents per kilowatt hour, right? So this is what you pay. Also, I think nowadays 30, 26, 29, whatever. So this is currently average is 29 cents or 290. The question is about security, also on the price, and the risk on the price. I'm going to ask you one question, and this time I'm going to listen. Last time I didn't listen properly. If you were in 2017, and someone was offering you a 10 years contract for your energy, 30% higher that market price at that time, but 10 years guaranteed. And you perhaps receive many of those calls from energy providers. Oh, do you want to have a new energy contract? We have best prices. At that time, if someone giving you a 10 years fixed contract, were you accepting? I would say no. But if you had accepted, you had won the game over 10 years. Right? I think many technical people, the area beneath the line is much smaller than the area on the top of the line. The question is, today is 290, 29-ish. I'm an energy provider calling you 30% higher. 10 years, 20 years contract. Fix. Who is accepting? You will accept. Oh, 2. Great. 20 years. If I give you 20 years, more or less at the same price, do you accept? I think more will accept. Yes, but fixed for 20 years. I believe I will accept that. If any, even so, any energy provider calls me on the commercial calls, I hang off immediately. This one I won't, myself. So the question is, can we come to a point where we can have long-term price security at an affordable price? without geopolitical risk, without climate risk. Let's go. Think about this stability we have to mitigate. The other two we have to avoid if we are talking about the risk management. There are many ways for the risk management. One is avoid, one is mitigate, one is accept. I think this one we should mitigate. The other two we should avoid. But to be able to discuss this case further, I want to go to a real case. A while ago, one of those municipalities contacted me via, and the question was, we have a village of 160 households, more or less, and they are looking for a solution for their energy security. Relatively wealthy neighborhood, where they currently using gas for heat, about 3,800 megawatt hour per year, this village. Equivalent to gas, you can realize how many cubic meter of gas is it. And 1,500 megawatt hour of electricity from grid. So the question is the current situation. Geopolitical risks. Is there gas tomorrow? You never know what Ukraine war gonna go. Other things in the world, around the world. Climate risk from next year and next year onwards. We have all the carbon taxes on top of the gas prices you are gonna pay and much more. And you don't want to do bad for this world, right? And also price security. Do you have price security on gas? No. Also 21, what happened to the gas price? How much government puts subsidy on it? God knows. So this is their monthly profile of their gas and electricity. So the red one is, the orange one is the gas, and the gray one is their electricity consumption. So the question was, is Iron Power a solution to manage their risks? And that is coming back to that 1 megawatt at a time. Let's see if we can do it. Those who have been in previous Metalot at Work session, I have presented this techno-economic model, which is a software tool which we are also spinning off soon. This, and you will hear in future about it. But I'm going to use that now to answer this question. Maybe yes. Under the web. And I think I'm not Dutch, so I have to bring it a bit. Oh, no, I don't need it. I have to use the mouse. Sorry, my bad. So let me use this tool to get those answers. So we have an urban application here where I put it exactly the same numbers there, 3,800 for heat, 1,500 for basically electricity with the monthly profiles that you expect. And basically you have now different situation. Do you want to use combined heat and power? So it means also a turbine on top of your burner oil boiler or not. You can easily choose. In this case, let's choose a CHP mode, which is combined and heat power. And let's put a power to heat ratio for this case of 25%. A bit of detail, sorry, for those that do not follow power to heat ratio story, but this is about how much of your turbine basically translates your heat to the electricity. And the financials around it is there. Let's connect it to the nearest star. You can also have fully independent grid scenario by just having wind and solar, and then you can go completely off-grid. But in this case, let's pick up the grid to make it more simple and analyze the data. Oops. Yeah. So what you see here is we pick up a system of 1.4 megawatt burner boiler for that village, which goes seasonally up and down, because in wintertime you need more heat, and in the summertime you need less heat. And then your regenerator of 800 kilowatt and electrolyzer of 800 kilowatt to full chain. And then basically they can run smoothly through the year. Let's look at a bit more on the, you can go to all of the, oops. Back. So I think this is your iron power inventory, how many tons of iron through the year goes up and down, so inventory management of all your stock of iron. But I think what I wanted to show here was, in this solution that we built it up, the blue is your demand of the heat per month for that village, and the green is your supply by iron power. So basically, you 100% in this solution meet your demand. You are fully independent of the gas. So the gas is off the table now. Let's look at the electricity. So again, the blue is demand, the green is iron power, and these oranges is extra you need from grid by principle in that solution that we build it up now. So you can see in the winter time, which is mostly December, January, February, you basically also grid independent. You have fully off grid at the time that the grid is overloaded. Can you imagine how much you are helping the grid if in the winter time you don't use the grid? Because at that time, you are producing heat, and then at the same time with the turbine, you can also get your electricity fully in place. And then, during summertime, when you have a lot of sun, of course, perhaps you don't need to use the iron power. In the next steps, which today I don't have time, we can easily also get off-grid by using solar panels, simply with a battery. But let's now focus on iron power. So in this scenario, 65% of electricity comes from iron, and only 35% from grid. And your heat, 100% comes from iron power. By average, you came to 90% independency on your energy. And you can be fully independent of the fossil, from the grid. You have your own operation, enjoy it. At which cost? Can someone say at which cost? Per megawatt hour? Just guess. 200. 201, 2. Let's go. I think you are very close. 196.8. 20 cents. Right now, you buy electricity 29 cents. Let's say I'm wrong on all these tools and calculations. 50%. You are back to 29. 20 years, security. Because you buy all the hardware, it's a CapEx driven. You get your solar, your wind, your electrolyzer, and then you transfer seasonal, basically energy to your winter time. In the summer, you store it in iron, you use it in the winter time. That's how it works. And you have a security. You put a huge CapEx, day one. You can get it also even for the new builds. You can get it as part of maybe your mortgage even, per household. I will go to the CapEx side. You will see that. Of course, here we are using OpEx driven based on the grid, but you can imagine this is going to be bigger. But 3 million in this case, 3.3 million euros of CapEx for 160 households. 20K per household. I don't think 20K per household is very off. Even if you want to buy a heat pump, you are going to pay some case, right? And I still put everything on the grid. So that was, can we go back to the slides? Yeah. So I wanted to summarize this story. So on an annual basis, we came to fully heat by iron power. Electricity by iron power is also light green. And these small ones are from the grid that is also doable with solar panels. Which bring us to a point that you mitigate those three risks that we talked about at the beginning: geopolitical, climate, fully green, at a secure price. I think that is even more important. So 90% energy security, no geopolitical risk, fully green, affordable, long-term price. Iron power, by iron power. If this is real, I cannot imagine an investor is not stepping in. Any building company, any company. We look at this region in Brainport. How many billion euros government is putting in to prepare for ASML extension in Eindhoven region? How many billion euros? 2 billion euros. How much investment this needs to get fully independent from grid, to get your electricity, everything in place. So, I want to end my actual presentation. If you are looking for an end-to-end solution, you can contact me.
That was our commercial break.
Yes.
Thank you, Mo. Also, it's nice to tell the audience that Mo, or Armontech, is the next spin-out. So, hey, we're talked about spin-outs doing the technology, application side. Mo has established a company who will help modulate on the pricing, on the investment side. Moving on, we talked about a 1 megawatt scale, but you heard us talk about making traction and impact. Roel, 1 megawatt, that's no impact. But there's more, right?
It is.
Well, at least it's something.
And Mo made my life real easy, because he showed us how we could do with 1 megawatt. What was it, Mo? 160 homes? Yeah. We also heard Alan say, hey guys, I'm going to help you as far as I can, and we have plenty of green energy for you available. So if we want to go higher, if we want to scale up now, helping the ecosystem, because I told you earlier, no, Michael told you earlier, you can't buy stuff here. Yeah, so we need the ecosystem to start performing. But we heard John speak about the Meemortel. Alan was talking about Nearstar. That could be our first. But scaling up gets real easy then. We'll send Mo into the field as our reconnaissance person to make all those connections, start making all this analysis, and we'll start cherry picking of where to go. And a couple of those were already mentioned. The alderman of Kranendonk already said 4,000 homes is somewhere where we're looking at. And that's Brainport area. You heard Mo say, I come from ASML and they have big plans and there's billions to invest and they all need energy. We also heard defense sector here in this area is picking up quite a bit. It's picking up nationally even. But defense also has an obligation to become more sustainable, first of all, but they also have something with resilience, a word that becomes quite necessary and popular if we want to secure our own positions. The other one, we also have a representative here from the Noordwijk area, Step van S. Yeah. So if you want to speak to him, that's where he is. But Step has brought to my attention that, hey, scaling up, you're looking at putting more combustion sites, but wait a minute, if we think big scale national, we also need more regeneration sites. Yeah. What if I could lead you guys to a large wind park that maybe has excess capacity? Would that work? Is that green enough? Of course that is green enough. It's exactly what we want. Yeah. And hey, what if we could add extra combustion sites? So yes, scaling up is really scaling up. It's multiplication of what we have learned to do. Difficult? No. You have to know the right people. This is exactly in Metalot's scope. We're allowed to connect people. Go back to what we do as Metalot. Yeah, we have our voice and our belief. And that's why you guys are here as well, because you have all now been infected and become ambassadors to help us with this scaling up. Michael, is that a good answer?
I guess so, but that's still on a national level. Besides that, we're looking at international level as well. Turning metal power into a commodity. I spoke about lobby, also on the EU level, on the national level. Following up on the previous year, we had a MECRA conference in Germany. There we got in touch with the TU Darmstadt, some industry partners, and they said, hey, what if we join our voices together to create a lobby body on an EU level? Because if we do this on our own, it won't work, and we'll lose the momentum. We'll lose against hydrogen, we'll lose against ammonia. So we need to get into motion, to get traction. And along the route, they heard that, hey, but wait a minute, Metalot, that is the group that houses the entire ecosystem, right? That could help us. That could help us get voice into Brussels. So together with a few countries now at the moment, we are gathering information and creating a so-called lobby body, a representative within Brussels. The challenge there is that each country needs to arrange their own ecosystem. So they're looking again at Metalot. How did you do that within the Netherlands? In order to create an ecosystem, to have some representatives from the country, which can represent within the lobby body. One step closer here, right now, since we're the front runner as the Netherlands, we have intensified our contact with the Ministry of Climate and Green Growth to create a national body. The Ministry of Climate and Green Growth, also represented here in the audience, is looking at us and at the technology as a new energy carrier, which is amazing because, hey, that is what we've been fighting for. And they say, hey, we want to support this. So if I may, Paul, can I get you to the stage? I'll get you a microphone, sorry. Thank you. And please say something about it.
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, I'm very excited to be here. We have been following this technology, this iron technology, for quite a long time, and we have seen the huge steps you made, and you all made. And of course, within the ministry and within the national government, we are technical agnostic. We don't want to support one technique. We do have to support many techniques. And this is also what you said before. There's no magic button or one technology which will save the world. We need them all. Having said that, it's very important that we, from a governmental perspective, are able to support techniques. And we can't support one company because, well, that's just one company. Most of the times we are even not allowed to. But we can't host 9 or 10 companies with all different technology around some iron powder. So we need a body to talk to, we need a body which can help us to develop new techniques and to speak to, if we want to develop also new policy making. Because what do we need? We need standardization. Why do we need standardization? Well, there will be safety issues, there will be technical issues, we'll need some legislation, and we'll need some ways to subsidize it in a way we can explain it to others. It's simple, it's as simple as that. So we need standardization, so we need a body to talk to, which represents the field in which the standardization takes place. It wouldn't be a good idea to ask civil servants to come up with some standardization. You'll probably laugh at us. but you have to do it, and then we can develop these standards together. Then we can bring these standards up to a European level, from a national level to a European level, and then we can talk to our colleagues in different countries. And then we can get substance. We also need proof that the technology works, so we need projects, which you certainly have. You just mentioned a few of them. And we are very happy to see that Metalot is developing into an organization which makes this possible. So, of course, there will be barriers, and of course it will be difficult from time to time, but this is really a first step to make this iron technology possible and make it part of the solution which we need to greenify our planet. So it fits in our policy making, and of course there are a lot of uncertainties, but that's part of the game. And it fits into the image of the future we all have. So we are delighted to cooperate with you and, well, see if we can develop a solid cooperation the next coming months, and see how we can involve a lot of countries, a lot of colleagues in a lot of countries the next coming years. There's no magic button, there's no one solution, but you are probably and possibly one of the ways to greenify our planet.
Thank you, Paul. So we peeled off every level. I hope it clarifies that, again, we do not produce anything, we just bring together. But it's more than bringing together technology. It's also bringing together governments. It's also bringing together problem owners. We helped, or we hope that we helped you give a little bit of insight on how our roadmap continues to create more traction and more traction. Part of that rule is also collaboration with parties and stimulating those more. I'm fishing towards the Ambassador Award.
No, I know, it's a fixed element of our program that every time when we see people get involved, become enthusiastic, make moves, a lot of times spending own hours in advancing things or bringing ideas to the table or even working them out with us. So there's one gentleman I want to talk or ask actually to come to the stage again. You've been here already before, Fons. Where are you? Oh, right up front. Stay away from the speakers. I came here 3 years ago almost. In the first year, we started talking about a business plan, how to move from university into the Future Energy Lab research. You challenged me then and say, oh, you have to look at funnel, market, and then, what was it, market size, some, yeah, right? I go like, oh, Fons, you're making real big steps. I mean, look at the lab here. I mean, I'm thinking nuts and bolts. Yeah? So, but in the end, after a year collaboration, we came up with a plan that still leads us in the roadmap that we're following, where we try to pave the way for working installations up to the level that they can go to market, but also accepting, if you go around the corner and peek there, to accept new technologies from the university, because in 5 years we'll need new stuff. I mean, Fossil does the same. We keep developing. You've put a lot of effort in there with me to do that business plan. We still follow it, totally proud of that. You keep supporting us. You were on stage here today presenting one of the outreaches that we do. So I think you're ready to be officially infected and be an ambassador for our ecosystem. Thanks, Fons. Thank you.
Dank je wel.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
course, it is quite an honor to be the ambassador, but yeah, I was infected, of course, by what the research has achieved and the potential of what this technology has. And yeah, I'm happy to be in, to contribute to bring this to a bigger scale.
Yep.
And I'm also very happy to see that what you have achieved, and that is not only put in words, but it's put in action, and it's still expanding what we have envisioned. So yeah, I'm happy that I could contribute to that part.
Thank you again. So if any of you got inspired by this and you want an award like that as well, you know what to do now.
There's a waiting list, actually. So
Sorry?
there's a waiting list.
Oh. Fantastic. Michael, we have come to the end of the program, I think.
Yeah.
We cannot do, I think, with questions or discussion we can have at the drinks, maybe. So it's up to you people now to say, do we want to do questions? Are you all thirsty? Want to go for the drinks immediately? Tell us. Maybe do questions. Yeah, now we're all sitting here nicely, yeah, and we can all hear each other. Any questions to any of the presenters or more in general?
I think they're on. No, one.
Well, a question, or more, maybe more a kind of remark. I heard that developers, people from government and whatever, are informed to see how this new technology is developing. But if I talk to people outside, nobody knows about this. Nobody. So why is the national press not involved in this?
They actually
Simple
are.
question.
Okay.
They actually are sometimes.
Oh.
But then again, still, it is due to the fact that, hey, we need some traction on the tangibility of the innovation. And as long as it stays, I would say, it's not the right word, but it remains academic or just a pre-commercial project, it's not theirs. It's not that they want to widely spread it. It becomes, you know, they had their moment with that already, and they're now waiting for the next step. So getting a project which can create traction is something, as you heard Paul Budel mention as well from the ministry, that will help us gain more momentum on other levels. So I think getting the national press here is part of the next step where we can showcase it to the world.
And it's a fine line between Metalot as ecosystem builder, reaching out and go public, let's say, and shout out of the roofs to say, oh, look at what all beautiful stuff we can do. And I'm not afraid as Metalot to fail at a certain point, you know, to make a failure that we can correct. Because Metalot is the organization as a foundation that maybe could allow for a failure, and people accept if we make a failure. And we only have to say the same thing as Elon Musk does. We learned a lot. As a foundation, people will accept. Yeah? As a company, that's more difficult. If we would start promoting now that our industry is fully ready to do full-blown installations, we're totally on the left side, 100 megawatt, no problem, we would be over-promising, underperforming. So it's a fine line that we have to walk. I fully agree with you. Indeed, if we go out, there's tons of people that don't know about this technology. You could say it's a missed opportunity. I'm looking at it as, no, this is the beginning of the game. Yeah, this is where we have to start. This is where we have to build up. Yeah. This is also how you can look at Michael and me, and also at Stijn, our team, technology, communication, and I get to be here to, what do I do actually? Yeah. No. But that is, yes, how we have to go, how we have to work, and yes, that is why we all try to make you ambassadors as well. That's the best word we can have in the public press as well. Any more questions? Thank you.
Also, any questions online?
Sorry. Oh.
Yeah, maybe a question for you, but also for Mo. Very interesting tool to calculate the pricing that you can set for the next 20 or maybe longer. But have you looked at specific application domains? And the reason for me asking this is that we've seen the Cluster 6 companies. Cluster 6 is a very broad domain. It can be paper, it can be cement industry, it can be food. Is there a sweet spot that you can look into? And the reason for me asking is that I'm now working on a project where concrete is reduced to gravels, sand, and the cementous fraction, and we're looking into reactivate this. And that also is a very heat-intensive process or high-temperature intensive process. So, is there a sweet spot, and how does it? What does it look like for concrete or cement? I must say.
So in general, all the industries who need heat or are currently user of high volume gas currently, they are, I believe, one of the best candidates. Cement is there, definitely. Food industry is also there. We did the same analysis for Hock, for example, or other food industries where they use heat. I think even you can imagine from coffee beans, roasting those in the bigger scales need heat, until any bakery, basically industrial bakery. All of these need heat, and these are the sweetest spot. And the reason I'm saying this is sweetest spot, compared especially with the district heating, is on the district heating you need seasonal. And it means you need to put a big boiler, burner, and perhaps even the turbine, only for a few months to reach the maximum utilization. And the rest of the year, basically, they are not utilized fully. However, in industry, they can go much more smoother through the year on their heat demand, which basically utilization of your hardware can go higher and higher, which makes the business case even more interesting.
Okay, so assuming you can go lower than the 20 cents the kilowatt hour.
Yes. To 140 I have seen even cases. 40, that range. 104. Yes.
Yep. Any other questions? Online, any? Still no?
My question relates to green hydrogen and green electricity. Will the price of green hydrogen decline that the iron cycle works? Because we need the green hydrogen to make the cycle to close it. What's your thoughts about that?
That's a good question. All you or I, you're more the technical guy, I'm more the easy talk guy.
So your question is if the green hydrogen...
If there will be enough green hydrogen at an affordable price to make the cycle work.
You require a slide with that?
No. The green hydrogen that we will make with the wind parks that we have, let's say, that will go into the backbone, is probably already long sold to the big industry that needs it. This is why today we have looked at a solution that can make us totally independent at a small scale. You saw that we can produce locally, implement locally. So we try to work our way up by doing these local solutions, using assets that are all there, wind parks, solar parks. And a lot of these get under pressure now because the ATOs to the grid don't work anymore. So yes, it's easy to pick those up, involve them, offer them new business models. That will bring us green hydrogen for the smaller cases to build up the ecosystem from the bottom end. We have to look and keep an open eye for the big scale things. And this is where it becomes internationally attractive to go to countries like the Middle East, or Namibia is very popular at this moment. Australia is very popular. So people look at other locations, and this maybe as Dutch, we should have to understand if we say goodbye to fossils, then Rotterdam will become a quite quiet place. So finally we would be resolved, or we would have resolved all the traffic jams there. But it's probably not what we want. Yeah? We do want a replacement for that. So we also have to think, and this was another session, iron power at the biggest scale, where internationally we start organizing this, involving other places that have access to that green energy, and bring it here and distribute it here to replace the fossil logistics, let's say, that we are experts in Netherlands now, and which are a big part of our trade balance. So yes, we have thought about that, and I think we can stay in that position. You see that also on the startups that we have, how they are all connected, can start working together to also operate at the big scale. We also have representatives here of large steel-making industry, for instance. Yeah? Those will be facilitators for the big scale up there.
Fons wants to add to that.
Oh,
yeah, maybe I have some news to announce then, because we are not only working on burner side and the combustion side, we're also working on the reduction. And talking about hydrogen, we also have developed a technology that is without hydrogen. So we do directly electrolysis, so we use green energy. We do electrolysis and we can win 99% pure iron out of the rust slurry that is electrolyzed, so to say. So we are working a case at this moment to create a new startup that is bringing this new technology to market. In addition to
Is
hydrogen.
that an answer to your question?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, okay. Maybe another one very interesting that we can mention. I was just informed by a person here on the back as well. He's board member of Africa in Motion. In Ethiopia, they built a large Renaissance dam, 5 gigawatt in power. The country only uses or can distribute 1.5 to 2 of that. That means there's 3 gigawatt unused. What if we would just put one of our regeneration plants there? It's totally cheap energy. It's always there, 24/7. It's probably giving us the best business case we can think of. Yeah, so yes, there's plenty of potential around. You just have to find it. We have to connect those people. And this is also scaling at the world level. And yes, I can promise you one thing. Fossil has a 100-year head start on us. Yeah? And also from these installations that we see here, we'll also go into a mode to optimize for the coming 100 years using our technologies. The same will happen. Good.
I think everyone...
Oh.
This one.
Oh, has something...
I'm curious about what TenneT would think about things that had been said here.
I can tell you, because we actually were at the table with TenneT at the Ministry of KGG. And yes, it's understandable that in the first instance, if we advocate that, oh, we can do without the grid. You heard it Mo say, yeah, that, oh, I can make you even totally off the grid. But is that smart to do? Because if you try to think at the integrated system level, yeah, and we said it before today, metal power is not the solution. We're part of a solution, of a total system. And the smart thing to do is to show the same picture. Maybe we can put it up, Michael. The total chain picture.
Yep.
Yeah. And if we look at it, then we can see there's an electrolyzer in that game, and there's a turbine in that game. Yeah. What if we would talk to the grid operator, or TenneT in this case, the highest level, but goes for every grid operator, say, hey, if you have excess energy, why do you accept negative prices? Yeah, you have to pay. Yeah, no, just dump it in our electrolyzer. It's there, the asset is there. Yeah? So you give us basically the energy to drive this, and it means we create more stock of fuel. Who cares? We have stored energy that was at a negative price. We have sealed that value in a positive price. And we can use it later on. If we go to this side of the table and there's a turbine there, then same thing could happen. If the grid is in need of more energy, then all our localized solutions will be able to contribute locally to solving a grid power shortage. So, yes, I understand that the grid operators at the first instance will perceive us as competition or nasty little boom, go away, yeah? 2 minutes later, they will realize maybe we could become best friends. Because what will happen is, if they don't have to pay to get rid of the energy, that saves them money. If they can buy cheap here, that's good for them. Yeah. But for the community that operates this local cycle, think of Kranendonk, where we started with today. Yeah. Let's say this energy community would start to exist. They would have extra income here because it's free fuel, and they would be paid here. So the price of Mo is just lowered by, I don't know what, 1.5 cents over the whole year, because at a higher level, the game is implemented with the grid operator. You have to cooperate then. We're not competing, no, we're helping each other. That is total solution. This is also where I can speak from my own background. We would have never been able to build a space station if not all these parties would have looked at the total system. This is the thinking I'm also trying to apply. Why do we want to do this? Yeah. You have to think the total system. So we're part of a solution, you have to think the parties that you interact with. So I think it will take probably a couple of more discussions, but we will be big friends with the grid operators. I'm pretty sure.
I think we can finalize on that, because I see a lot of thirsty faces here, and we're on time. That's already a big accomplishment for us. So yeah, please, that was our story for today. Feel free to hang around, network, or do some networking if you wish. A little bit of attention for the next session. It's on the 12th of the 12th this year. Not here. This one will be at the TU in Eindhoven, where we'll have a special edition. Our founder, Philip de Groei, is retiring then, and he will be saying goodbye to the TU. He won't say goodbye to us, though, but there we'll have a small symposium where also all the startups will be able to display themselves, and we can showcase the entire world from, hey, this is where we are at now. So again, thank you for your attention.